When I first started trying to run easy, I did what everyone told me. I bought a chest straps, the most accurate one I could find. I strapped it on before every run. I would stare at the numbers like they were the answer. But eventually I found out that I still got easy running wrong. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Even with perfect data, even when the heart rate monitor is accurate, easy running can still feel too hard. And when that happens, most people do the most logical thing. They slow down even more. They shuffle, they walk, and they still finish their run feeling drained. If that's you, the problem is something you're carrying into every run that no chest strap can measure. Let me walk you through it. When I started running, a Garmin watch was all I had to track my running. I did everything I could to find the most accurate heart rate range and put that into the watch. And from there, I followed zone 2 on my screen to the dot. The watch would tell me I was in zone 2, and it would show me that I have a nice, comfortable number. But my body was telling me something completely different. My breathing got heavier than it should be. My legs felt like they were working hard to keep up. Sometimes the heart rate would spike from zone 2 to zone 4 within a minute. So after every easy run, I would finish and think, maybe the watch wasn't accurate after all. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I invested in the chest strap, the thing that actual athletes uses. And the data got more accurate, and I was right. The wrist monitor has been off and the chest strap has fixed that. Now I had real numbers. And then somehow after that, zone 2 still felt too hard. My heart rate didn't spike like it was, but still climb when I thought it shouldn't. Over a 7K run, I would be able to stay in zone 2 for the first 3 to 4K. Then uncontrollably, with the same cadence, same pace, my heart rate would gradually go up and hit zone 3 and 4 before the run finishes. Eventually I realized even with accurate data on your watch, zone 2 felt like a bad indicator of how easy I am running. And look, if you're dealing with the heart rate that spikes on easy run and won't come down no matter how slow you go, I made a whole separate video about what's actually chasing that and what to do instead of just slowing down. I'll link that at the end of this video. So back to square one. I went to online and find more answers. Fast forward, it finally clicked for me. And the moment that clicked for me lies in an obvious answer that I already knew from day one. And the answer was, just run by feeling. I knew this on day one since I started running. Every coach described easy running the same way. They all say, it should just feel easy, but I didn't trust it. I overthought the whole thing. I convinced myself that feeling was too vague, too subjective. Deep down, I wanted a number, a range, something I could measure and verify and point to and say, easy run equals to zone 2. Here's the thing. The real shift I had to make wasn't learning to run slower. It is that I need to learn to stop asking a device to tell me what zone 2 is and start defining what my own easy running actually feels like. And that's harder than it sounds because feeling is a floating thing. It's not something you can measure if you are a beginner, or it's not something anyone can hand it to you. Nobody can tell you what your easy run should feel like. You have to create your own definition. For me, the way I did it was through perceived effort, a simple scale of 1 to 10, where 1 being I didn't sweat at all, and 10 being the hardest run I've ever run, and there's no way I could run any harder than that. An easy run leaves at a 2 or a 3. And this is why it is so hard to explain and clearly define an easy run. A 3 doesn't mean a comfortable effort. A 3 could mean I could do this for hours and forget I'm doing it. And sometimes a 3 means if a phone rang right now, I will answer it and the other person wouldn't know I was running. Most runners who haven't dialed in what a 3 feels like think they're a 3 when they're actually at a 5. Not because they're lying to themselves, because they have never calibrated what a 3 actually feels like. So let me give you something concrete. 3 checks you can use on yourself during a run. If you fail any one of them, you're not running easy. Doesn't matter what your watch says. Check number 1, the breath check. Can you hold a full conversation right now? Not in your head. If someone appeared next to you and asked how your day was, could Could you actually respond in complete sentences without gasping mid-word? If the answer is no, you are not running easy. Talking should not feel like work when you are running easy. Check number 2, the awareness check. Look up from your feet. Can you notice what's around you? Who is running beside you? When you're running too hard, the world shrinks. Your focus tunnels inward. All you can think about is your breathing, your legs, and how much longer you have to go. But actual easy running leaves enough mental space to notice things outside of your body. So if the outside world has disappeared, you've crossed the line. Check number 3, the clarity check. This one is harder to fake. Ask yourself, is my mind wandering or am I just counting down minutes? Easy running should feel closer to walking in a park than grinding through a workout. To me, this is when my creativity comes out of my brain. I will think of random plans I want to do throughout the day. And sometimes I would just zone out entirely, like my brain just started to rest subconsciously. So if all you're thinking during a run is, when is this going to end? That's not clarity. You're just trying to survive. And on top of these 3 checks, there's one last test that I do after the run. I ask the question, do I feel more energized than when I started? And do I want to run again tomorrow? If both answers are not yes, that will be a perceived effort of at least 4 or above for me. So there you go, 3 checks during a run and 1 after the run that you can implement right away on your next easy run to see if you're running easy or not. Now let me give you a caveat before you go on your next easy run, because I guarantee you this will happen. After your next easy run and you did those checks in your head, you will likely realize that you've been running too hard this whole time. Maybe you have been doing the same run for months or even for years and you feel frustrated, ashamed that you realize that you've been wrong for a very long time, even if you don't admit it. I was an example for that. I felt like I wasted a year and a half running easy wrongly. And I would have made so much more progress if I wasn't wrong about it. Here's the thing. That's your ego speaking. And I know exactly what that feels like. Just last year, I was promoted to a COO position as a test in my last company I worked at. They wanted to see if I could do it. At that time, I wanted to prove I'm capable. I wanted the title and I wanted validation. But just within weeks, I knew I couldn't do it. The gap was way too big and I was forcing skills I didn't have. So I ended up covering my weakness, and every day I felt like draining a battery that never recharged. And the crazy part was, I also knew I didn't even want the position. I didn't want the actual work. I just wanted identity. I wanted the kind of person who is capable. And I stayed in that role for months of feeling drained and inefficient. And the reason I stayed, look, I'm sorry to tell you this part, but the reason I stayed is because stepping down from that position felt like I'm announcing to everyone I couldn't do it and I wasn't good enough. Knowing you're incapable but afraid of admitting to the world and to yourself that you're wrong about it. That's not commitment. That's pride and ego and being stubborn. And I perceive that as persistence, that as I should keep going up and never go down again no matter what. And if you ever felt like running just wasn't meant for someone like you don't belong in this sport at all, I made a video about exactly that feeling. It is the same ego that won't let you slow down. It's the same one that tells you you're not a runner. I'll link that video at the end of the video as well. So here's where it connects to your running. If you just realize you've been running too hard, you now have a choice. You can keep forcing the same pace, or you can choose to demote yourself and allow yourself to slow down to a pace your ego will hate, but your body will thank you for. Walk if you need to, stop if you need to, finish the run sooner if you need to. One of the biggest lessons I learned throughout the past year is that running is all about managing effort. And that's the skill all runners actually need. Managing effort is more about feeling than the data, no matter how accurate they are. The data is only useful when it can be combined with the perceived effort level, which you have to be brutally honest about. The good news is you have a Garmin watch like I do. You can configure it so it asks you for your perceived effort after each run. So just make sure you let your ego down and answer it honestly every single run. When I started running at 32, doctors had told me to be careful with my lungs. I wasn't supposed to be a runner at all, so I had nothing to prove and everything to discover. And what I discovered is that forcing anything doesn't work most of the time. It might feel like it's working in a short time, but not long term. This happened to my career and also to running. The goal is not to run faster than the person next to you. The goal is to run in a way that makes you want to come back tomorrow. The goal is not to copy someone else's runner's identity. The goal is to create your own, one that feels believable, one that fits your life. Here's what I want you to do. Next time you go out for an easy run, run the 3 checks I gave you, and then come back here and tell me which one you failed. Was it breath, awareness, or clarity? Drop it in the comments. I'll read every single one of them. My name is Felix, just figuring things out one run at a time. If your heart rate keeps spiking on easy runs and slowing down isn't fixing it, that video's on the screen right now. If you ever felt like running wasn't meant for you, that's the one right next to it. Pick whichever you need, and I'll see you on the next one.